gonna start the first part, solving radical equations. Okay, how do you think I would solve this equation that says the cube root of 2x plus 7 equals 3? I want to solve for x. Basically, I want it to get to say x equals.
When you cube,
Beautiful, yes. Okay, so because this is a cube root, I'm going to cube both sides. Okay, whatever you do to one side, you have to do the other. That way, this cancels, yes? And you're left with just 2x plus 7. And then you have 3 cubed. What is 3 cubed? 27. Now from there, what do you think I do? Subtract 7, and you get 2x equals 20, and then I do divide by 2, and x equals 10.
Wait, that's it?
That's it. But now I can double check it. If they tell you to check, that means I have to plug back in. So I'm going to plug it back in like this. I'm going to say 2 times 10, or the cube root of 2 times 10 plus 7 equals 3. So 2 times 10 is 20 plus 7, so I have the cube root of 27. Is the cube root of 27 3?
Yes.
Yes. Boom. So you might have to check on some of your homework problems. It will say plug it back in and check your solution, and on some of them it won't. So just so
Wait,
you
so
know.
even if you did solve it like that, wouldn't it automatically work? Because you.
As long as your math was automatically right.
Oh.
Yeah. So as long as you didn't mess up on any of your algebra skills, then yes.
So basically, as long as
Which
you
is
have
why
two-
we check. Right? That's why we check. Because even I make mistakes.
You or we wing it and then we say you want
Okay.
literally whatever.
Now you have the
Wait,
square
so that's
root.
it?
That was that problem. That's that problem.
That seems easy.
Okay?
Why?
Well,
Watch me.
Why hurt you?
Now you have the square root of x plus 25 equals 4. How do I solve from there?
Square.
Yes, good. I square both sides. I need a new bookmarker. When this happens, that cancels, giving me x plus 25 equals, what's 4 squared? 16. And now what do I do?
Subtract 5.
Subtract 25 from both sides, and you get x equals what? What's the
-9.
-9. Now, we're going to check that answer. We're going to plug it back in. I have the square root of -9 plus 25 equals 4.
16.
So then I get the square root of 16 equals 4, and 4 does equal 4. Beautiful. Okay. Now, those ones are pretty simple. If it's a cube, I cube it. If it's square, I square it. If it's a 4th root, I raise it to the 4th power. Okay, whatever you do to one side, you must do to the other side. What happens when they give us fractional exponents? Like 4x to the 2/3 equals 36. What do you think I do first on this equation?
Divide by 4.
Yes, I want to divide by 4 first because I want to get x by itself. So if I divide by 4 first, right, I have x to the 2/3 equals, what's 36 divided by 4? 9. Beautiful. Now, what is 2/3 technically?
Isn't that technically the cube root of 3? I mean, not?
The cube root of x
Just
squared.
Yeah.
right? It's the cube root of x squared, okay? So, it is the cube root of x squared, but that's confusing to try to flip around and do all that stuff. How can you get rid of a fractional exponent? How do you get rid of fractions ever?
You do the opposite.
You do the opposite reciprocal, right? Okay, the opposite. So, what I'm going to do is raise this to the 3 seconds.
Wait, can you do it the way that you were just
You can, it's just gonna probably take longer.
Yeah.
So if I raise it to the 3 seconds, then this side has to be raised to the 3 seconds. Now, these cancel, leaving you with x equals 9 to the 3 seconds. Now, Cole, let's change it into what you said. What is 3 seconds technically?
Square root of 2.
Square root of 9 what?
2 to the 3rd.
To the 3rd. So I'm taking square root of 9 to the 3rd. Does the square root, or is there a square root of 9? Well, I can't talk.
Yes.
What is it?
3.
3. Now, technically the answer is that it is plus or minus 3 cubed. What's 3 cubed? So your answer is plus or minus 27. This is called an extreme strenuous solution when I have two possible solutions. That's why we have to plug back in and see what works,
Okay.
okay? Because it could be that both solutions work, or it could be that only one of the two work, okay? So we're gonna plug it back in and see what, works or doesn't work. So I take 4, and instead of putting x, I put 27 to the 2/3 equals 36. Okay, what's the cube root of 27? Because that's what this is saying, the cube
3.
root. 3, what's 3 squared?
9,
And 9 times 4 is?
36.
Beautiful. Okay, so that works, yes?
Yes.
Okay, well, if I put negative 27 in here, what's the cube root of negative 27?
-3.
And what's negative 3 squared?
9.
And then 9 times 4 is?
36.
Both, so both of these answers work.
So
Now,
even
that-
if one of them works.
If one of them works, you would only list the one as a true answer,
Oh,
okay? Yes, Jason?
That answers my own question. I was gonna say, it didn't matter what equation you plug it back into, and then,
I would always plug it back into the original equation. It's just easier that way, cause it's already set equal to what you want it
So how do you
equal
know when it's gonna be a plus or minus?
to. Because if you're taking a even powered root, you always have two answers, like a square, a fourth root, a sixth root, it always has a plus or minus. Remember that?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, now, how would I start this? X plus 2 to the 3/4 minus 1 equals 7, what do I need to do first?
what's that?
Plus 1, we wanted to get x by itself, so we're gonna add 1. I get x plus 2 to the 3/4 equals 8. Now what?
You should do the opposite, so 4 over 3.
Yeah, so I'm gonna raise this whole thing to the 4/3. And I'm gonna raise this to the 4/3. Here, this cancels, leaving me with,
X plus 16.
and what is 8? What is the, right, this is saying the cube root of 8 to the 4th, right?
Yes.
So I'm gonna write it like that so we can see it. What is the cube root of 8?
2.
2. And what's 2 to the 4th?
I think it's 64.
16.
16.
16.
Mhm. 16, good. And then I simply subtract 2, yes? And I get x equals 14. Now, let me plug it back in to double check, okay? 14 plus 2 to the 3/4 minus 1 equals 7, okay? What is 14 plus 2?
16.
So I have 16 to the 3/4 minus 1 equals 7. So what is the 4th root, right,
Yes.
of 16 cubed? What is the fourth root of 16? You just did it, you should know what it is.
2.
2.
Oh, yeah.
And so then I have 2 cubed minus 1 equals 7. What is 2 cubed?
8.
8. 8 minus 1 equals 7. So 7 equals 7. Beautiful. And technically this 2 could be a plus or a minus, right? But because we know that that was an even 14, that's why I went with the positive 2 and not the negative 2. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Okay. So, can you handle solving equations like that tonight?
Yes.
Okay, because tomorrow we're gonna get into equations that look something like this. Let's say it has the square root of x plus 16 equals the square root of 14 minus 12x plus 4. We're gonna solve something that's a little bit more difficult like this tomorrow.
That's extra.
Yes, it is extra. That's why I want us to figure out how to solve these ones well and be comfortable with them so that we can add that extra little step in. Okay?
Yeah.
Let me give you some homework.